Welcome to Is It Punk?
You're amped, dude. It's those meatballs cooking over in the other room that's got you going.
Yeah,
feeling good.
I got meatballs cooking. I made them fresh from scratch.
Nice.
The girlfriend's mom's recipe. They're simmering in the sauce until this pot is over, and then I'm fucking eating all of them, except for the other ones that I will be giving to my roommate.
Are you making like a sandwich or like noodles?
No, so we making penne pasta. We got the sauce, and then we got those Pillsbury crescent rolls. I'm gonna throw those in the oven with some garlic salt and shit on them. You'll probably hear my girlfriend in the background clanging pans around as she does that in about 45 minutes.
Nice.
It's gonna be good stuff.
Very nice. We have a guest, our first return guest.
Really?
Yeah,
Hi,
everyone, I'm
Joey.
Joey from Kirby Grip.
That's right. I've returned.
The prodigal son is returned because I asked very kindly.
No, I forced my way in here.
Yeah, need the clout.
Yes.
But how's it been? How's I know you put out the record that you were talking about last time.
That's right. Yeah, we put that out at the end of November. And it's been an interesting. We haven't played a show since then, and
Hell yeah.
our next show is on Thursday, which is the 3rd at Cole's in Chicago.
Oh shit. So you know what? This is actually going to post on the 2nd. So all you MFers get to Chicago as fast as possible.
All our Chicago listeners.
Yeah.
That's remarkable timing.
It's
all
gonna
our
be sick.
All our Chicago listeners is on the pod right now. I feel like, to be honest,
There might be a chance of that. There could be a chance of this.
Hey, Ryan will listen.
Yeah, Ryan will listen and he'll be at the show.
yeah, there we go. Look, pod magic.
Full circle. Yeah.
Full circle. So remember, guys, if you're at the show, at the Kirby Grip show, to let Joey know that you came from the pod, flip him off during, I don't know, the entire first song.
Yeah.
Let him know.
Yeah.
That's
and
a good way to get someone pumped up.
give me a dodgy look.
Yeah,
I'll get enough of those.
yeah. Give him a really concerned, vaguely aggressive look, and just with a full bird. Because that's the way of Is It Punk Pod.
I would actually appreciate that.
Yeah. Dude, I was in Brooklyn yesterday, and I had probably I haven't been in New York City in so long, or I haven't been in like a major city in so long, and like everyone's so fucking mad, just always.
Really?
Yeah.
In Brooklyn?
Yeah.
I thought it was only hipsters in Brooklyn. Isn't that the
No.
joke?
Well, I mean, yeah, but there's also just like regular New Yorkers there, and they're all mad.
Do people say hipsters anymore?
I don't know.
I want to say Boston's the angry city,
Boston is the angry city.
at least in
Boston-
terms of drivers.
That video of the guy walking by the bar and then like they start calling him the F slur is like one of my favorite videos on the internet.
They're like completely tanked, and they're like, ah, ha, ha.
Yeah, they're like laughing in his face.
And all he's doing is taking a video. He like didn't do anything.
I mean, it's pretty classic Boston action right there.
I've never spent much time in Boston, but just off those vibes, it seems sick.
Can't recommend it.
Yeah, I've only been in 5th grade for 2 days. It's fine. I was supposed to go back for a show, and then I felt uncomfortable, so I didn't.
We went on tour, but we played wherever Anchors Up was, which was not in Boston proper. You know, the legendary hardcore venue Anchors Up.
Yeah.
I forget where it is. I think it's in like Haverhill.
Couldn't even begin to guess.
I guess you guys don't know about
Sure,
the
that's
area.
nice.
Neither of us
But
have
I
never
didn't go in
lived
this.
there.
We spent we spent the night like way even more outside of the city, and then we drove into the city for like the next day and got like a sandwich somewhere. That was our
Fuck
like
yeah.
Boston experience, and saw like
How was that sandwich? What'd you get?
I don't even remember if it was a sandwich, to be honest.
Couldn't even be that good of a meal.
Which is honestly like 10 years ago. Time flies.
Dude, time fucking flies.
Yep.
The years go by like weeks.
Dude, speaking of time, emo music's been around for a minute.
Too long, if you ask me.
Hold on. Let me get some energy here so I can do the. Are we starting the segment?
We can. It's going to be a long segment. We gotta
Wait, Joey, did you do your homework?
No.
All right. Welcome to the Super Bowl of emo, motherfuckers.
I feel like I should have prepped a soundboard of John Madden saying things here, but I didn't.
Oh, that would have been so cool. Why'd you even say that?
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
now we're gonna want to do it. I wish I knew some Maddenisms, but I don't.
You just chop it in and edit it later.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so Joey did basically no homework. Ian did half. I say I did like 95%.
Look at that. The thing is though, I can cheat on this because I have years of experience.
Yeah.
So I can just. I was gonna listen to like get some better knowledge, but like, I should just speak from the heart.
There was like 2 on this list here that I like hadn't heard of before. Like I just had never listened to, so I had to listen to those.
Yeah. Well, I literally one came out like a week ago.
Well,
so.
that's the other one. Yeah. That one was a tricky one, but yeah, I think so. Basically, to set this up, I mean, we set up in the previous episode, but we broke out our top 32 emo records of all time, as according to me and Ian. And then we asked a few guests. Joey is the first to come in, and we're going to get down to the top 16. But we're only doing half of that today with Joey. We'll have another guest to break out that other half, so that way we weren't abusing our friends that much.
Good on you.
Yeah, so we got 8. Ian is counting. What are you counting?
I'm counting how many there are today.
The viewers.
There's 16.
There are 16. We're going to get to 8, and then the other one will get from that bottom 16 to 8. And then we'll have the top 16.
There's 32 teams in the league, NFL league. That's why we did 32.
Yeah, I took Ian's word on that. I assumed it's right.
It's from Wikipedia.
Dude, shout out.
Emo should work the same way as NFL. There should only be a certain amount of bands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
to compete.
Some franchise owner has to like buy them out. If you want to start a new band, you trade like, oh, dude, we got the bassist from fucking Mom Jeans, dude. Hell yeah.
That would be cool.
And you know what makes them similar is they both have there's plenty of bad people in the NFL, and there's plenty of bad people in emo.
Yeah, I feel like probably less like physical like abuse, like murders and stuff, but a few more sexual assaults.
Yeah. I don't have the numbers on that, but
yeah, feels right.
Yeah,
I think we're pretty safe on the bands we picked. Maybe we're not going to dive into it. We're not going to look into it. We're gonna glide past that.
Yeah, well, again, a new album came back last week, so we'll see how that band
pans out.
Pans out.
Dude, how many emo bands would Pennsylvania have? Because like we were talking before pod about basketball, and like New York has 2 basketball teams. California has like 3, right? Or 7? I don't know.
There's 4 in California that I can think of off the top of my head. Yeah, there's Warriors, Kings, Lakers, Clippers.
I forgot about the fucking Kings.
Yeah, that used to be my team when I was a kid.
Dude, where are the Kings from? Are they LA? Sacramento. Okay. Dude, too fucking many. So yeah, Pennsylvania would have like 8, I think.
It's a big state, to be honest. Like Northern California is like a different realm than Southern California. Yeah,
and at least they're spread out. Like every New York team is always like based around the city or Long Island. Like the only New York sports team that's not is like the Buffalo Bills.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, fucking rip, dumb little bastards. I have friends that like the Bills, so I like to shit on them because I don't like football, so I don't care.
I was rooting for them.
Yeah, I'm rooting for the Chiefs, I think.
No, you're not.
The Super Bowl.
No, you're not. You're not doing that.
Bengals,
a lot of people have said that the Chiefs should not win. So I would like them to win.
Yeah, but you should not be on the side of the Chiefs. I mean, first of all, based around like your few things that you enjoy about sports, it's a problematic team name.
That's true. Yeah, it makes it difficult, but I like to make people in my immediate life a little mad. So,
I think you should root Bengals.
It's a good way to do it. I gotta give you props on that, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. Like if I still lived in Chicago and if we were like hanging all the time, Joe, I would talk shit on the Bills constantly.
On the Bears?
On the Bulls.
On the Bulls?
Oh, the Bulls.
Just to be a dick.
Yeah, but you'd just be wrong because they're so good.
Fair, depending on the season. And be out there repping the Knicks so hard and just being upset constantly.
So we're looking at this. We're doing sports talk. Sports talk on the emo radio.
Not qualified for this.
I can't talk sports because I'm so bad with names. Like I can't even
of like players.
I'm just named. Like how am I supposed to talk sports when I can't remember like half the players' names because I'm just like that's never the way my brain works is memorizing names.
I still don't know how most stats in basketball work.
I played basketball and I don't know what a triple double is.
Me neither.
Couldn't tell you.
That sounds like a sandwich from In-N-Out.
It does.
Just gonna say, is that a burger?
Yeah,
animal style. Type of burger. Animal style.
Dude, I don't even watch sports. That's the other part. I literally just don't. I just watch UFC, which is
so anyway. This
murder.
This genre we know as emo.
Yeah. So we're doing the Super Bowl emo. We're gonna figure out the best bands. So we're going to do. Joey, what's your relationship with emo?
The first band that's on this list, or I guess it's the second group, is like Jimmy Eat World, and that's like I grew up like worshiping Jimmy Eat World since I was like 8 or 9.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, it's been basically the entire time that I've been obsessed with music. I've liked.
You've dabbled in emo.
Yes.
Going through this list, are you like? Do you have any like? Is there a lot of bands you don't know or do know, or do you pretty much know them all at least in passing?
This is such an older dude thing to say, but every group that's like newer on here, I've never heard of before.
Interesting. I mean, we did do new band. Like we had a attempt to get some like newer bands in and try to like span pretty much every era of emo.
Yeah, we ran the gamut from 80s to literally a record that came out last week.
Just to kind of like get like a actual vibe of, because it's the Super Bowl, and once who's ever the winner here is going to be the winner for
forever. Because we're not doing this again.
We'll see.
We're gonna move on.
Just do the exact same list over again.
Now we're gonna do ska next.
Oh, I could speak on that.
I would just say they all lose.
Yeah, I think I could talk about 2 bands and that's
it. So you don't really know the newer bands. You like the older bands.
Yeah.
They're like, but is there any bands that you like loved? Like a lot of, like, are the bands here? I mean, I know you like Jimmy Eat World, but like,
I want to say like, the newest band on this list that I like really love is like, I love The Hotelier. I love
Title
Fight.
Let's go.
Yeah.
We saw Title Fight together one time.
That's right. That was 10 years ago. Connor.
That was literally 10 years ago.
That's so That's so sad.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Well, it's more like actually probably like 9, but yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it. I like the older stuff on here, like all the Midwest stuff. I really, really love. Like I love American Football and Braid and Mineral. Big fan.
Yeah, the classics. Dude.
Your baking sodas and your flowers.
Exactly.
Did you ever? I mean, do you consider Kirby Grip an emo band? And then
we've been described as that in the 2 articles that have been written about our group.
I could see like someone arguing that, but like
I think you take like because I have listened to you guys, and I think you have like certain like moments that pull from this genre, probably just because you listen to it, and that's just kind of like sometimes you just write riffs that way or something. But I wouldn't consider directly inspired by emo in a way, or even like
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on in that cosmic gumbo.
yeah.
Dude, I was supposed to make gumbo tonight instead of these meatballs, but then my green bell peppers were rotten. So
This is the food pod.
yeah, I had to throw them out, and we got 2 feet of snow, so I can't get to the store until tomorrow.
Oof.
Fellas. Anyways,
Did
you want to do the first?
Wait, I had one more interview question.
Okay, one more.
Come
question.
on, let me interview. I'm working on my.
Yeah.
I'm practicing my interview.
Connor.
Season 2 of Is It Punk?
Way
More
too many
interviews.
for this, Ian. But continue.
Did I do any ums?
Only a couple.
Okay. Well, then let me try to speak as clearly as possible without doing any of those noises.
You're doing you're doing great.
He's freaking out.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to do.
I think that's a dumb rule. I think that when like people speak so like professionally and stuff, it can make the other person feel like,
Oh, yeah, it's aggressive.
yeah, I don't know, just be yourself.
Yeah, be
Yes.
yourself, Ian.
Yes. So, did you ever play in any emo bands?
No, I was in a group in San Diego a few years ago called Flatlands with some good friends of mine, and that was like way more math rock, like alternative rock adjacent stuff. Never really ushered into emo.
Yeah. Besides, like math rock and emo kind of have friendship.
There's an overlap
Yeah,
there.
they're stepbrothers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So you ready to get into it, Connor?
Dude, I'm fucking born ready, my guy. All right, let's see. Number fucking 1. We got the first bracket here. We have Modern Baseball's You're Gonna Miss It All versus Jimmy Eat World's Clarity. I feel like this. I mean, so we randomized the seeds on this. We got number 1 seed Modern Baseball, number 32 seed Jimmy Eat World. Randomized. What a fucking first one to do.
This is tough. Mostly because like the Clarity is definitely in the same group as like that like late 90s era stuff like Jawbreaker and Braid and the Get Up Kids and Sunny Day Real Estate. Like those are like iconic, like second wave emo, third wave. I don't know.
We don't know about waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's second wave. I would say
Yeah.
second wave. Yeah. And it's like I think the hardest part about this is there's like two classics. So you have like Modern Baseball, who pretty much are a classic to anyone who liked music in the last, or like liked this genre in the last 10 years, or even got into it. Like I'm sure there's like a lot of like 19-year-olds who probably was like, oh, I fucking loved, or I love Modern Baseball because I listened to it when I was like in middle school or something like that.
Yeah.
And it would be a classic to them. And then Jimmy Eat World is probably like the people who listen to like 90s emo would probably say like, oh, that's like one of the defining records of the time.
Yeah, I would say like well, like Bleed American is like emo, I guess, but it's way more poppy, and Clarity is like very defining emo. Like Lucky Denver Mint is such a great song. And
Yeah.
it's like a centerpiece of like that emo sound.
Yes, 100%. There, like, I think that all the way through this record's really good. I think with the exception of 12/23/95, which is just kind of like a lame little Christmas number.
Dude, hey, you got to throw in some Christmas music. And as we discussed, Ian, Christmas, it's kind of punk.
We didn't talk about Christmas. We talked about Santa.
We talked about Christmas songs. You did
Tomato,
a
tomato,
whole
yeah.
episode on Christmas songs.
Oh, I forgot.
You fucking idiot. Without me.
It is pretty punk that I'm sorry, I haven't listened to that episode. I'm sure you guys have brought this up though, but it is pretty punk that a lot of enormously popular Christmas songs were written by Jewish people.
I saw
shit, true.
I saw a thing about that was
That's
like,
dope.
yeah, I I saw a thing about that, which on some sort of sketchy thing about how that was a bad thing. I was on some like crazy page, and then when you were about to say that, I was gonna say like, I was gonna be like, you were like, it's crazy how most of these songs are written by, and there was like a pause, and I was gonna say like, oh, Jewish people. And I was like, wait, no, that'll be like too too sketchy for me to just you blurt out.
Ian accidentally outs himself as alt-right.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Negative listeners now. Sorry.
I'm gonna negative. So Connor, what do you think about these records?
Yeah, so I mean, when it comes to Jimmy Eat World, Clarity is my like third favorite record by them. Bleed American is my favorite, and then Static Prevails, and then Clarity. I mean, they're all so close together. Like in my head, they're all kind of like one. Like I forget which songs are on which all the time because I like them all the same.
Yeah.
But like, I my only gripe with this record is there's a lot of like those really long songs. Like I think there's one on here that's like 16 minutes or something aggressive like that.
Yeah, that one's
that's the ending song. It's like the two afterwards are not supposed to be there. If you're listening on Spotify, that's the expanded edition.
Yeah.
So Goodbye Sky Harbor is the last song on Clarity.
Yeah. But and I will say also the Sweetness demo that's on the expanded edition on Spotify, it hits pretty hard.
I haven't listened to that in a minute.
Yeah, I think they were kind of like, I think they slightly changed up their sound, but like you can hear kind of how Bleed American and this like are kind of like you see where they're kind of like related. And I think that listening to the Sweetness demo, you can kind of hear that a little bit more. And
when it comes to Modern Baseball, like I remember at the time when Modern Baseball came out, like they put out that EP, I think like Couples Therapy with Marietta.
Yeah.
And that was where I first heard them. And I was like, oh, this is like a cool new like emo band. And then I remember everybody liked them. They put out their first record and everybody was like, they're fucking nerds. But then they blew up and like, but everybody just talked shit on them all the time. But then everybody also loved them. And it was like this weird like love-hate thing I remember seeing online a lot. And by the time this record came out, You're Gonna Miss It All, I like kind of didn't like, I fell out of listening to this type of music for a little bit. So I kind of like missed the wave when it was happening with them. But I've gone back and listened to it a lot since. And it's like I mean, like you said before, it's like a classic.
Yeah, I got into Modern Baseball. I kind of like Sports, the album Sports by Modern Baseball.
I also kind of like Sports, and I do like the record.
But someone like I was like talking to a girl, and she was like, "Oh, nice. I'm really into this new Modern Baseball album when it came out." That and
were you talking to this girl on Tumblr.com?
I was talking to this girl on Tumblr.com, and she was like, "I'm really into this new Modern Baseball album," and I was like, "Oh, I haven't listened to it," and she's like, "It's really good." So then I would listen to it to impress her, then I really liked it actually. And then like I listened to it like a bunch, and then I really eventually caught on to it, and now like I think it's like undeniably really catchy and good like music.
Yeah, it hits hard. And I'll say there's a song on it, Going to Bed Now, and it has the lyrics in it. What do you call someone who calls you out on DIY ethics you don't embody as he drains his dad and mommy's monthly data plan? An asshole with an iPhone.
Yes. Also known as me.
Yeah, big dude. I have an unlimited data plan, so I don't really drain the data plan. But
I have an unlimited data plan too, but definitely my parents still pay for that.
I have an Android, so I don't have any friends.
Yeah. Fair. But
I mean, it's pretty punk to have an Android. I gotta say, like every time someone has one, I kind of like, that's a little bit more of a punk move.
It's dog shit, but yeah, hey, that's punk.
Is the two-party system, does that extend to cell phones as well? Because there's either iPhone or Android.
That is true. If you have a Samsung,
it is a two-party system because you could do the third party, which would be the most punk, which is the flip phone.
Right.
But like again, just massively inefficient. It really won't do much good for anybody.
What's the libertarian of cell phones? Is that like a walkie-talkie?
No, that's a hard line. That's a
landline.
It's
libertarian.
Still relying on government issued like wires all around the country and like infrastructure, but like
I had a teacher in, or a professor, I should say, in college who was like very clearly libertarian from the first class. And he was like, I don't have a cell phone. I have a fucking great teacher. But he was like, I have a landline. That's how you'll be able to reach me.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it would be cool to have a landline. I wish I had a landline. I wish I only had a landline. Like, do you imagine how cool it'd be to like not have to reply to people for like a day?
Dude, it's crazy. I just don't reply to people when I don't want to.
I don't either. And Connor gets the the back end of that.
Yeah, I get the memo when Ian is replying within half an hour to go, yeah, I'll just make the choice.
Nap.
But all right, we gotta make a choice here. Joey, what's your vote?
I'm going on nostalgia. I have to go Jimmy Eat World.
Thought so. Ian?
Okay, so they're both nostalgic. That's the
That's
thing.
a
When you
great
said that,
album,
like
yeah.
literally you said I'm going with nostalgia. I'm like, okay, well, what's the nostalgia here? Because I can listen to modern baseball and it does sound like being 22. Like the album sounds like being
And
22.
it came out like 8 years ago, so yeah.
Yeah, you know, like
Time's crazy.
it came out. Oh shit. Well, 8
Yeah.
8 years ago. Yeah.
Dude,
I'm bad at math today. I didn't
Math
mean like
teacher at work.
232 divided by 2 earlier. I counted. Yeah, so then Jimmy Eat World early, I got into it. I'm probably gonna say Clarity, just because I do think that if I was to actually suggest records to people, I think I would suggest both of them, but I think that I'd be like, oh no, you gotta listen to Clarity though.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna vote for modern baseball to give them love.
Yeah.
But they're losing this round here, fellas.
Look at that.
Sorry.
Moving on.
Jimmy Eat World. Wow, into the next round. Okay, here we go. We have Nothing Feels Good by the Promise Ring versus Just Got Back from the Discomfort. We're All Right by Brave Little Abacus.
So anyone listening to this is wondering why we're putting such difficult choices together. It's because we also had to break down the top 32. So like,
yeah,
I was like so mad that we had to do any of these comparisons because they're almost like incomparable too.
Yeah.
Like I think anyone comparing Jimmy World and modern baseball would be hard to do. But it's just necessary. It's the way this game is played. This is the emo Super Bowl.
Boom.
Super Bowl of emo.
Yeah, come on, get it right, Ian.
I was thinking about the concept of this earlier, and I was like, well, music's not a competition. It's not about who's better, but like it's fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Well, my hope is that the dude from Modern Baseball will listen to this and get really upset.
Which one? He's had enough mental issues that he broke up.
No, the bassist.
Oh, Ian? That dude's chill.
Yeah, I bet. I was just being contrarian.
He wears glasses. His name is Ian.
It sounds like a dork
Sounds
to
like
me.
a cool dude. Hey,
Wait, I have glasses. Okay, anyways, so I have never listened to the Brave Little Abacus prior to us deciding to do this.
How'd you like it
I think I would have liked it a lot more if I was 19.
when you heard it?
Yeah.
Um,
Like listening to it now, I was like, I see why this is on a lot of people's lists in terms of like greatest emo record of all time and shit like that. But I think I'm too old.
So Joey, do you like Brave Little Abacus?
I did not listen to this album.
Let's
At
go.
all? You've never heard it at all?
No.
Okay, so Connor's right about being 19, but I was hoping that he would hear it because I had a theory about this, that it is such a nostalgic sounding album that you could hear it for the first time at 19 years old, or no, at 30 years old, and be like,
Feel 19
and feel 19 again, or at least feel like 17 again.
Yeah.
Because it's like, but like it's really childish in a really artfully done way that I think is like very rarely done.
Like
it's
very mathy, but it also has like, I mean, we were talking shit on Nintendo Core before, but like on the MC Lars episode, but like it kind of has like weird Nintendo-y sounds like thrown in too.
They do it really good.
Yeah.
And like they have like the keyboards doing like the Nintendo sounds, and then they have like Malcolm in the Middle samples just thrown out through the album nonstop. And so like it's even more sending you back to being a kid.
That's
and then
so
like
emo. Oh my god.
it's like but like, yeah, and then it's like not. I think it's really good because it's not too whiny, and it's because it's not songs about like it's like about like my girlfriend breaking up with me. It's all songs about like struggling with growing up, and like I think it's just like it has like a really really good sound to it.
The issue at hand, though, it's up against "Nothing Feels Good" by The Promise Ring,
Yeah.
which is come on.
I only heard this for the first time within the last like 18 months because my friend Amy was like, "Oh, you like this band, this band, this band? You've never listened to The Promise Ring?" She was like, "What the hell?" I was
Dude,
like, "Oh, check it out." And
shout out to Amy.
Yeah, haven't seen her in a minute. Great person. It you guys were talking about like hearing something for the first time and it making you feel like a teenager, and that's exactly how I felt when I listened to Nothing Feels Good. I was like,
nothing does feel good. And now that one song by Jimmy Eat World, where he is like, he mentions Davey. That's Davey.
that's so cool.
It's gonna hit harder now. Every time that song comes on, I say it. I say that to my girlfriend, and she goes, "Yeah, I know." And then she stops listening to me. But yeah, so my vote is The Promise Ring. Nothing Feels Good.
I think like
I guess we could talk about it more, Ian, if you want. But
well, okay, so like, okay, so Promise Ring is really really good, and I think that's the other thing is like I would also again. Most of these albums on the list, I think I need to stop saying this as like I would suggest it to someone as like a first emo listen, but I think The Promise Ring I maybe would
100%. It's super accessible. It's so catchy.
It is. It's really, and it's like a pure pop record. Like Brave Little Abacus is definitely for the heads. Like that's like,
yeah.
I don't think I could like play that for my sister and my sister to be like down with it.
It's
like,
in the top 25
this genre.
Yeah, like here, check this out, and then like you're listening to like a dude like yelling like "When I'm sad." Anyway, so
like they're top 25, but they're not top 10.
Anyway, so and then Nothing Feels Good is just like so like nothing. Like the name of the album is just like that, but then like the aesthetic of it with like the little like the '90s looking place just
perfect.
Feels so 90s. And then when they have that lyric about no one goes to college anymore, that's just so so good.
The last song is called Forget Me. Like, come on.
Yeah. And it perfectly describes like a weird bad time in my life, and I'm like, oh yeah, forget me. Dandelions Marigold.
On the top of it, there's a Christian song in it too, so that's also.
I mean, that's a knock. That's a knock, but
I think it goes. Like that song's sick.
So
Jesus was a fisherman.
Okay, Joey, what's your vote?
I'm going. Because I haven't listened to the other one, I have to go for The Promise Ring.
Sounds about
I'm
right.
honestly. I just want to say that when I was going into this, I was fully prepared to be like Brave Little Abacus.
That's
and then after
crazy.
this, and I didn't. In full disclosure, I didn't listen to The Promise Ring before, like a re-listen.
Yeah.
I've listened to it millions of times,
Same.
but I didn't re-listen to it right before this, this episode. But just talking about it right now, I was like, oh shit! I guess it does have to win. Yeah. Like,
I mean, I didn't listen to it either because I've listened to it a million times, and I was like, yeah, I don't need to. It wins. It wins this fight.
I do want to say though, if I was listing out other '90s albums to listen to, I think that it would kind of be in the lower of the like top. It would be like the top. It would be 5 in the top 5 to me. Promise Ring and Brave Little Abacus, I think like is like this really huge. Like if someone was into like artsy music, I'd be like, yo, check out Brave Little Abacus.
Okay.
But I guess Promise Ring wins. But I do want to just give a huge lot of love to.
I'm gonna add that band to my
solid listen
music streaming app
title.
I was listening to it last night. I listened to it like on the car ride home, and I was like stuck in traffic and just had to like just really listen to it. And I was like, yo, this is the best thing I've ever listened to. This is so good. But
maybe I just gotta find next time I'm in like a really sad teenager feeling mood, I'll pop it on.
Yeah, if you ever want to feel like a teenager again.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have Shed by Title Fight versus Embrace by Embrace. Now, I'm gonna guess Joey. Have you listened to Embrace before?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
Look at that, being pretentious, Connor.
Hell yeah. Well, I had not listened to Embrace either prior
Really?
to this. Yeah, we talked about that in the first episode when we were doing the top 32, where I was like, I had heard Embrace before, but I never like listened to it, you know? Like, I was like, oh, Ian MacKay's band. Put it on. I was like, oh, cool. And then like never listened to it again.
Yeah.
So this is Ian MacKay's band post Minor Threat, pre Fugazi.
Interesting.
And they just put this record out, and then I guess him and Guy were like, let's do Fugazi, and then they did Fugazi. I'm guessing that's the exact history of how it happened.
Which is a better band. Like it's a no doubt. Like Fugazi is a better band than Embrace.
Fair assessment.
I thought you were gonna say Minor Threat versus Fugazi. I was about to be like, that's like a cheeseburger versus like
A hot dog.
No,
A
there's
steak.
people who argue Fugazi better than Minor Threat, and people who like I used to be like Minor Threat is the best one, but now it's just like kind of it is. I guess it is like what you're comparing. It's like getting a nice like Minor Threat is definitely a cheeseburger, and then a
it's
steak.
great, and I'll go back to it, but it's a burger.
Yeah, and like but like also from like a you know like a little like a stand. What do they call places where you get burgers in Chicago?
Restaurants.
Ian came up with he had this thing the other day. Where was the city that they called
Detroit
diner?
Detroit calls diners Coney Islands.
The diner is called a Coney Island.
Yeah, you go like, oh, I'm gonna go stop at the Coney Island, and like they have, so it'll be like, and like it's not one company. I asked, it'll be like, oh, Jenny's Coney Island, and you just go in there and it's essentially a diner.
I think this
There
guy was
is-
fucking with you.
No, it's look it up.
I can vouch sort of. There's a hot dog and burger place a couple miles south of me called Lola's Coney Island.
So weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're it's a Detroit thing.
There's a
They're
island.
all over the place.
There's an island by me called Coney Island.
Super cool, Connor.
Yeah, and there's
That's
some diners nearby it where you can go get a burger.
They got named after the hot dog.
Yeah, also in Chicago they just call them diners, right?
Yeah,
There's no weird colloquial
Yeah,
term,
Like,
but there
I
aren't even
learned
really
the-
diners. Like I
But,
remember
like,
when
I
I lived
was-
there.
I was saying, I was also talking about how you know like the LA hamburger shops, or like maybe even Southern California, like charboiled burger places, like that's a uniquely LA thing, right? Like Louis
Yeah.
hamburgers or like Louis Burger. You
A
know, it's
Midwest burger is on a griddle almost always, and like
Yeah.
for sure the
and you're gonna get it in a diner versus like this weird sort of essentially hamburger stand, but it's not a stand. It's like it's not a diner, but it's not a. You're always gonna walk to the counter.
yes counter service.
Counter
So
service.
is Embrace
Anyway.
like tater tots?
Jesus.
Embraces tater tots and
Minor Threat's a hamburger. Okay, so but so I listened to this Embrace record for the first time here, like a week ago or something, and this shit's really good.
I knew you would be right up your
I-
alley.
I'm
I was
like-
surprised you didn't like it before.
I just
Embrace album.
it's the only one. It's self-titled. And so yeah, I had heard it before, but like I don't know why it just like never hit or stuck or whatever. And I've listened to Fugazi a bunch, but like I've never like fallen in love with Fugazi. Like I like them, but it's never like my thing.
So you're on an Embrace is better than Fugazi wave right now.
Currently, yes.
Wow, impressive.
Fiery hot take.
Fiery hot take. I mean, I love Ian MacKay. I love that boy. Shout out, Straight Edge. What's up? The problem is, it's up against Shed by fucking Title Fight.
Yeah.
And it's such a hard distinction too, because this is literally like apples and oranges almost of like sounds and everything like that.
Sorta. So like, I mean,
well,
not
okay,
really,
yeah.
because to me, Shed is like almost shouldn't be on this list. Like Shed is on this list because it's a hardcore record, but it's like the most emo of Title Fight's stuff. But it's also maybe not the most emo, but it like fits the vibe and the time frame when it came out.
Yeah.
And Embrace and like early emo bands were kind of just hardcore bands that were like they like played their instruments like a little bit better.
They're just like it's a little not as messy, and also a little bit more like emotional. And especially this Embrace is Ian attempting to sing a lot. Like most of it is him attempting to sing, and that's why it's like, you know how like
I love the word attempt right there.
Well, because if you were to play Embrace next to another emo record,
like,
you would be like, no, this doesn't sound like emo. But like the guitar is melodic, and he's singing. He's a terrible singer. Horrible. But he does have moments where he's singing, and then he'll do like a yelling part. But it's hard to distinguish it because how like whacked out his voice is. But I was like listening to it earlier, and I was like, this is so good for that reason too. Like I was just like, oh, that song "Building," where it's like failure. It's good.
Exactly that.
I need to stop singing. I'm no more no more singing. New
really
pod.
Good Ian MacKaye impression.
Yeah, I mean, I would say my favorite part about it is that I sing just as good, so I can sing along with this record, and I feel great.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, having a bad voice can be good.
Yeah,
I would say the same argument for Title Fight. Not that I think it's the bass player is like the singer, right?
Yeah, Ned. Well, because Ned doesn't sing. He yells, and then Jamie's the singer, the guitarist, and he has an okay voice. But yeah, Ned, he's just like yelling.
I have a hot take here on
Hit it.
Title Fights. I mean, like you picked Shed. I would have picked Floral Green.
Me too.
Ian said that too, but I picked Shed.
I mean, like Shed is like the one that like definitely
Popped
blew
them
them up. Yeah, because that's like there's so much good stuff on here. But for me, like
Floral Green is like the album. That's the Title Fight album.
It's Floral, and like I love albums that are like the transition like right in between, because Floral Green is so 50% Hyperview and 50% Shed, like right, especially on the last song in between.
Do we want to do something crazy here?
And just pull an audible on it?
Pull an audible and swap in Floral Green for Shed, because I know we've all listened to it 100 times.
Here's the hard thing is I maybe would choose Embrace over Shed, but I would choose Floral Green over Embrace.
I would have picked Shed and Floral Green over Embrace.
And I think no matter what Title Fight is moving on, I think that Embrace has a lot of. Everyone should listen to this.
Everybody should. It's required.
Everyone should. I really think that it's a fun listen to, even if you like Ian MacKaye at all, or just even like Revolution Summer or just emo sound, a listen through of this is like a necessary, at least once in your life type thing.
Yeah, it's good.
But I think that like it's one of those difficult listens. Not difficult that it's like hard to get into, but definitely isn't like, it's not perfect.
Well, I think if you like punk in any realm, you're gonna you'll fuck with it.
How much does it sound like a Refused album?
Oh, not really. No, it's like if you like Rites of Spring, Embrace is like right on the same level, which is why I think then they made Fugazi, because they were in the same like brain.
Yeah, it kind of, you know what it is like the back end of the Minor Threat discography. Do you like Minor Threat, Joey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That band I was in San Diego, we covered like a Minor Threat song at a venue in Mexico, and it like was,
hell yeah.
So sick.
I would say that it has like a little bit more in common with like the back end of the Minor Threat discography, where they're kind of going a little like the Salad Days EP. It kind of has more similar kind of pulls from there, but it is a little bit softer.
Yeah.
But because like Fugazi goes a little hard and it's a lot more jammy, and I think they describe themselves wanting to be the Stooges but playing reggae, and that's like what they were going for in an interview. And then or Fucked Up, Damien from Fucked Up describes it as like punk rockers trying to play world music, and so Embrace is an actual like soft emo band.
Okay,
so
interesting.
And all that love for Embrace being said, Title Fight moves on.
Yeah, because Title Fight, you just listen to that and it's just like you're fucking hooked. I know so many people who don't even like emo, don't like pop punk, who just like they're like, oh yeah, I do fuck with Title Fight. Like,
do you just want to put your head in a ceiling fan?
You're like, no, but I do like Title Fight, but they are like, it's almost because they are like a hardcore band, like in general. Like they've always kind of like pushed themselves as pretend, like they've like said they were a hardcore band, which kind of gives them a lot more like punk, not like punk credentials, but like almost like more like pretentious emo credentials
because they don't want to
like,
be emo.
Because they're like the OG.
I got into them through Floral Green, and I went back and listened to The Last Thing You Forget, and that opening track is like just in your face.
It's
like,
perfect.
So good.
Yeah.
So
and Shed's really good. Like opening up the album with like feeling like a bag of bones, shriveled up and cold, 19 years old. And I was 19 when I heard that shit. And I was like, yo.
Dude, car moshing on my hour drive to fucking community college. Let's go.
Oof.
But so is Steve-O from Jackass emo? Because he jumped through a ceiling fan in that one skit and he put his head through it first. Anyway, we'll figure that out later. Okay, so the next one,
we'll burn that bridge when we get to it.
The next one is Little Green House by Anxious versus 10 Songs by I Hate Myself. So this is the record that came out last week. And I Hate Myself is, I feel like, a lot of people's first, like, quote, real emo band they hear when they like are like, wait, what's emo's Not My Chemical Romance? And then you Google it and they're like one of those bands that come up because their name is so silly.
They're like they're not like a parody band, but they feel
like they might be, but they're not.
It's serious, but it's joking. It's a really tongue-in-cheek thing. Like I think they were like intentionally trying to, it's like, you know, like their thing wasn't like, oh, let's make a band and then they end up writing this music. I think it was literally like, let's try to make like the most melodramatic band possible. So there is like a vibe of like fun to it.
Yeah.
Even though it's like literally like it's like intentionally the most like depressive sounding
I think it helps that they didn't put out that much stuff. Like if they had like 3 LPs, I'd be like, all right, guys, come on.
I mean, as they should. Every emo band should break up pretty quickly.
Yeah, two LPs at the most,
and then do a reunion in 2021.
Hell yeah,
that's right.
But Joey, have you listened to I Hate Myself before?
I have not.
Bummer.
Really?
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Throw it on. It's good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I would. It's called "I Hate Myself," and it sounds like it. That's what it sounds like. It's
okay.
It's right on the edge of like screamo and emo. It's like it's right on the edge there, but it's still in the emo vibe because they're not exactly screaming the whole time. Only at the crescendos and stuff like that. And
Okay.
and it hits the vibe right. Like waving not drowning is such like a good like name for a song. The song itself, the lyrics in it are great.
I mean, they have a song called "Conversation with Dr. Suicide," so like that's how you know they're kind of like a fun band. And then they have the one song that's like Dragon Ball Z.
This isn't Tenkaichi Budokai?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They literally say the big moment in the song, like the big screaming part, they say Kami Hami Ha.
Yeah. And this shit came out in like the 90s, so it's like old.
Does Thundercat know about this group? Or?
Maybe. But Anxious. This shit is so good.
The new emo kings. Although did you see that Koyo video that just dropped on 856?
I know. So I was about to
from
bring this
FYA.
Up. So we had Koyo on here. Shout out Long Island Hardcore. What's up? We had Koyo on here at first, but their record is not an LP, it's an EP. So we decided, fuck it, we'll pull that off and put Anxious on since that was coming out. But when Hate 56 put up that video from the FYA Fest, he said that they're like the best. He's like one of like the best new sound of emo or something like that. And I'm just like, yeah,
dude. And it looked nuts. People were going wild for them.
People were going crazy. Joe, have you listened to Koyo before?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Look up that Hate 56 video. I want that to be your first. If you're going to listen to Koyo, that should be the first thing you see.
Okay.
Because you'll be like, oh, it's very much Title Fight vibes, which is exactly
credibility has just been tanking this podcast. The more I say, like, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, fair.
But this, I would say that this Anxious is that also new sound, and I think they are a very Title Fight their title fight descended 100%.
100%. Have you
Yeah.
listened to Anxious, Joey?
Nope.
Fair.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
But the new record that they just put out is like a must listen. I feel like I loved all their stuff beforehand, but you could tell that they were a young band. I feel
Yes,
like they were learning, figuring it out, and they toured extensively. I think like right before the pandemic, and then they've been touring pretty hard during COVID still too. Like once they were bands were starting able to do that, still they were getting out there, and like I think they got their shit together and figured it out and put this record out, and it's good.
Yeah, it's definitely their shed. I think they're going to do something better next.
Yeah.
I think that, but this is their
shed.
This is their shed. It's their warm up album. They have a different kind of going sound for the most part, or at least like it's a little bit more. They have their sound figured out of like what they were trying to do with the EPs.
Yeah.
But I think that they're going to do something different after this. That's going to be like really sick. I hope. We'll see.
What would be really sick is because they added this singer from fucking One Step Closer as an extra guitarist in their band. So I really want them to maybe throw in some like double vocals with him on the back, like doing yelly bits. With the regular singing. Let's go.
So I think that this was it's a good listen.
Definitely more accessible than I Hate Myself.
But I don't think I wouldn't. Someone's like, what's going on today? I'd be like Anxious. Someone's like, what's an emo band to listen to? I'd be
I Hate Myself.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, I think they're good. I suggest it. Another thing on your list to listen to, but I think it's really it's got to be I Hate Myself.
Yeah, Joey, I would suggest this list of bands to check out.
we took 2 hours to figure this, make this list going.
We'll make a Spotify playlist at some point.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Let's see. All right, next up, Idol Will Kill by Oscar versus I Could Do Whatever I Wanted If I Wanted by Snowing. This is potentially the hardest question for me.
This is the one I saw and I was like, oh shit. Like this is the one where I'm like, I want both of these to go on to go, but like these guys would eventually
they duke it out at some point. We'll see.
I don't even know what to say. So I think I liked them at the same time. Like I was like, it was like, what is like, I'd be getting my car and I'd either be throwing on like Oscar or I'd be throwing on Snowing for like a good like 3 months, 6 months of my life, just every single day.
Yeah. Joey, do you have any relationship with either of these bands?
I don't. I think my friend John Tarek, shout out.
I met him one time.
Fan of Snowing. If he hears this and he's like, I've never heard of that group, this is going to be super funny. But I'm only heard of Snowing.
So yeah, Snowing definitely, I feel like are more popular among like emo and emo adjacent people because how they popped off in like the Philly scene. They were like,
well, there's like the OG Philly band. They were they were like the OG band that kind of brought in the
Twinkle Daddy emo,
the Twinkle
shit.
Daddy sound. Like even like when Twinkle Daddy hit big, Snowing had already been broken up for like years.
Yeah, like they were like around when Algernon was starting and stuff like that, and like all around the scene and big.
They broke up 2011, I think 2012.
Yeah, and then they randomly played reunion shows in 2016, and then randomly again did a tour of Japan in 2019. Right before
they just got offered it and they took it. I remember it was just wild, but yeah.
I'm gonna do a quick sidebar here.
Yeah.
Is Twinkle Daddy, is that a genre or a group?
Genre, baby.
It's a genre. So that would be Cap and Jazz inspired.
Okay.
Emo sound. So another sound of this would be like Snowing would be like one. That band Dads. If you ever heard them, they were one.
Algernon to an extent.
Algernon. The World Is got thrown into that somehow, even though like they progressed out to be completely outside of that.
Yeah. But Oscar,
and then there's just
Not Twinkle Daddies,
Not Twinkle Daddies at all.
but I'm basically Oscar's first record is just like a punk record, like a pop punk record.
Pop punk record written by like a teenager.
Yeah.
Like full blown teenagers writing the snottiest pop punk you could ever write.
There's a song
with,
called
like,
Asshole where he's like, "You're an asshole." I'm like, this is great. Another song called
and they-
Shithead. Let's go.
Yeah, where they literally call out a person's name and call him a piece of shit. It's like, John is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, first and last name, I'm pretty sure.
Oh man.
But Idle Will Kill.
Doxed.
Yeah. Idle Will Kill's their second record. They only had two. Shout out. They're in that realm. And it's more of an emo alternative record. And I think it is one of the most criminally underrated records like that are out there.
I think so too. I think you and I both
Big Oscar heads.
Yeah, big Oscar head. I think we were friends with each other, and that's how we kind of both were like one of our early like emo friendship things was built about how we both loved Oscar Idle Will Kill. And it's really cool because it came out in 2001 and they were on Epitaph. And at that time, Epitaph was just like pure skate punk. And the fact that they like threw on this record, I think is like really sick. Like,
it's
because
iffy.
it is a really just straightforward like 90s emo record. And I don't even know if that was intentional, like because of the way the band sounded. The record before it was just so pop punk that I think that they like decided to slow it down and they ended up making something like really, really cool.
Now the singer, Devin Williams, I think is his name. He's just like a singer-songwriter guy. Like he really slowed it down.
Yeah, it's not that good.
No, it's not. It's not great.
No.
Don't seek it out. But I'd have to. I have to pick Oscar.
This is really hard for me. So snowing was like my band.
I know. Cut
Like
my arms off. I get it.
No, and like this record, like I used to be able to just throw this record on and just go. Like the lyric, just knew everything, singing in my car, like yelling it all out.
You
like,
shotgun beers all the time, I bet.
Well, reason I got into shotgunning beer was because they had a song called "So I Shotgun a Beer and Went to Bed." Like that's just like I just
Yep.
Yeah. So
It's pretty epic.
that like snowing is like, and then also they're like the definitive like 2010s band to me. Like
I
they
know.
are like they're
I know.
the 2010s band. So I'm gonna go with snowing.
So Joey, you have listened to neither and have no connection to either.
I think I've heard like 2 snowing songs.
Snowing it is.
Yes.
But again, I do want to talk about Oscar because that is the like I don't know.
They're so good.
That one dude, I need to stop singing, but like dude, the one line where it's like I hope it's cold in your room.
Yeah.
Fucking so good. Like just melodramatic young boy shit, angry at a girl being like I hope it's cold in your room.
It's
Why is it
so
always
uncomfortable.
every good emo lyric is just very clearly some guy who got rejected. Now he's in his room and he's just stewing over nothing.
Just a
basically.
cis white male mad at a girl for not texting him back quick enough.
Yeah.
Hits hard.
I hope it's
hard.
cold in your room and let the warmth bring you home.
Boom. Now we got 4 Minute Mile by the Get Up Kids versus Frame and Canvas by Braid.
Oh.
This is a big one too. This is a big one.
I know my favorite, but
Well, what's your
I
favorite out of these two? I know
Frame and
Ian's.
Canvas.
I knew that. And Ian's favorite?
4 Minute Mile.
Oh, yeah, it's a classic.
And
No,
me?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. They're kind of the same to me. Right there.
What?
So here's the deal. Prior to this thing, I was like, honestly, I'm like, I don't really fuck with Braid. Like, I told that to Connor. So then like basically my own homework, the thing I was kind of focused on was like, I'm going to listen to Braid. I'm going to listen to this album. I'm going to like see if I really fuck with it. Still mid tier.
Still
Wow,
mid.
Ian,
Still
we were almost
mid.
friends there for a second.
Still mid.
Wow.
I don't hear it.
I think I'm biased as a musician because the technical aspects of Frame and Canvas are so great. Like the drumming on it's not Is This Thing On? Is that the title? Is that the first song on there, or is that
That's the
Promise
title.
Ring?
That's Promise Ring.
It's the new Nathan Detroit's.
Yes, that's I think like 2 years ago that was like my third most played song, just because like the drumming on it is so like it's like a hook as like a drum line. It's awesome.
Yeah. I could see that because I like am not that musically inclined. I do know sometimes when I hear it, like I hear it. And so maybe that's what this record is. And I just kind of have always missed that because I kind of sometimes look for other things when listening to emo. So that could be something I'd miss. And maybe if I listen to it from that perspective, or maybe even sometimes you just need someone to explain it to you while you're listening to be like why it's good, which
like,
I know
oh,
people
yeah.
is not a good way to like music, but I kind of like when I listen to music and have someone like, hey, here, listen to this drum part, and then like reversing it back, like listen to that, isn't that crazy? I don't know, I like that shit.
I feel like context can really help you enjoy a record like that. Like knowing that, like, I don't know, if I didn't live in Chicago, I really wouldn't care much about like all these other bands, but like being in the same city that like American football and like Braid are from is like so cool to me for some reason.
Yeah,
that makes sense too. That it is like the hometown hero type thing.
It's like anytime
I
there's
mean,
a Long
that's why
Island
I
band.
thought, that's why I was like biased to Oscar. That's why I was kind of nervous about Oscar, because Oscar's like from like a couple towns over. So I thought that's why I think this band's great. So I can see why you would think that like Braid and like kind of convince in that way.
Yeah.
I don't even think we have any Long Island bands on here. What the fuck?
Yes, we do.
Oh, we do?
I will say that
not this top list.
Yeah. We're good.
That Get Up Kids album is I feel like that Braid album took me like 2 or 3 listens to be like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But that Get Up Kids album is like immediate.
It hits
like,
right away.
The very first listen, you're like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah. And like you were saying, like the Braid album musically, I think we all agree, maybe Ian does agree, but it sounds better, but the lyrics on 4 Minute Mile, I think stick better. Like, and that's when with the emo, I feel like is maybe a little bit more important, at least to me, where I'm like, no, I like this whiny white guy a little bit more. Like, Don't Hate Me. It's great.
Side note, Joey, because you weren't here for the discussion, do you have a preference of 4 Minute Mile versus Something to Write Home About by the Get Up Kids, or do you have like no opinion on it, or
Campfire, Kansas?
I'm gonna say 4 Minute Mile.
Yeah.
Okay. So we made the right choice.
Yeah. I'm really easily, if an album cover is really good, I'm like halfway there.
As far as so like, good.
Oh yeah, and like Something to Write Home About kind of sucks. Like the album cover of that.
Oh yeah. Dumb Little Robots. Come on. I've seen people with that as a tattoo, and I'm like, whew, wrong choice.
Oof.
I say as I just got a record album tattooed on me, but you know we won't talk about that.
Hey, I've done that. It's all good.
But
oh my God, Ian, what is it?
I'm looking at the 4 Minute Mile picture. Sorry.
Just got so close to the camera.
I was like, I'm just like looking.
Dude, I was about to grab his little mustache whiskers.
I thought that was going to turn into a bit. I got really excited.
But did any of you guys? Did you ever run the 4 Minute Mile in high school?
Wait, no. That's so hard to do.
My dad.
You did not run a 4 Minute Mile.
I didn't.
Shut up, Connor.
No, it was like 8 minutes.
You drink like 3 cans of Coca-Cola. There's no chance.
Dude, that would make it better because I have the twitch muscles. Well, the caffeine.
I think the fastest mile I ever ran was 7.5 minutes.
When I was in high school, that was it. Or middle school, I think I had 7:45. I was like pretty slow. But I will say I got it up. I haven't done a mile straight forward, but when I'm doing my longer runs, I look down and I've clocked a 6:15.
I forgot you run. Well,
yeah.
Sorry.
Are you one of those sick people that jogs?
Yeah, I think he got hit by a car.
Yeah, I was jogging when I got hit by a car.
Oh no. Jogging kills, Ian.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I've ran a marathon, so I'm putting that out there because
Oh.
I've done things with
Oh, that's
this.
pretty
Oh,
I don't hate
cool.
running. If anyone's listening to this and thinks I hate people that run, I was just kidding.
I do. Logan, I know you're there. Shout out to former guest when we talked about if running was punk.
Yeah,
With Ian's cousin. I don't hate you,
cousin.
Logan. What's up? I'm picking Get Up Kids.
Okay.
The one he has an opinion on. We're like,
hey, in fairness, he had an opinion on both.
I'm picking the one that I like.
But like the album art slaps. I feel like the lyrics hit a little bit harder. But I do love
I think
Braid.
I think people have always put Braid as like one of the quintessential bands, and so I mean this whole list is, but like I would say this 4 Minute Mile. I would be, if it's someone's like show one person one emo record, I might choose this one just because it is like the sound of 90s emo.
Yeah. And I will say we do have some more Bob Nana appreciation later on this list. Hey Mercedes is down below.
That's right.
One of the few to make a double appearance on this list. All right.
I'm gonna go with Get Up Kids just because like I feel like Framing Canvas is for people who've already dug into like, you know, that iceberg meme.
Yeah. It's it's like the second tier.
Braid's like right where the water starts, and like Get Up Kids is a little bit further up. So it's like if you're gonna recommend a genre,
yeah,
I could see that. Yeah.
All right. Home Like No Place Is There by The Hotelier versus Best Buds by Mommy Jeans.
This is such a slam dunk. Like I feel bad putting Mom Jeans on this list.
Hotelier.
Why are we? It's the Hotelier. They're so good.
They're so good. I listened to this Mom Jeans album, and honestly, I was like, I realized I only got really into this album because I was going through a breakup, and then now listening on it, I'm like, it's
same.
Oh, that's pain.
Like it's only good if you have bad feelings towards a girl. That's it. Like that's the only time that Mom Jeans record is like fun to listen to.
But they are like a, not to be used like
they're a fun
band. This is the only term I know, but they are kind of like a girlfriend hardcore band. You know what I mean? Like not a hardcore band, but they're like a girlfriend band. You know what I mean? Never mind.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be sexist.
No, we're taking.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We're taking it, baby. Mom Jeans,
Run it back, Ian.
I run it back. I jog it back.
Yeah, we're not. They're not a girlfriend emo band. They're a partner emo band.
I will say,
right?
I there we go.
Let's be inclusive.
Yeah, we're inclusive.
If you're gonna denounce love, just denounce every possible gender.
Exactly.
You're at it.
Yeah. So Mom Jeans, it's fun. Like there's
fun.
parts of it that are fun. They have like they really take that twinkle sound. They really like do it well. It has, I would say, good production. Like
they did it okay.
But like Hotelier is like just slams.
Potentially album of the decade.
Wow, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
I could hear that out. That's like this. Are they 20? Is that still 2010s that came out?
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
2014.
obviously.
That's the same year as that Modern Baseball one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Better record than that one. I'll tell you.
Oh
that.
yeah.
Here's my main. Okay, I have two things with Mom Jeans.
Hit it.
I truly don't like the band name at all.
Hate it so
which
bad.
Makes it so hard. Like when someone's like, "Oh yeah, the name is terrible, but the music's good," I'm like, I can't get past it.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I ain't buying that T-shirt.
And two, like Mom Jeans couldn't do a song like Housebroken, which is like doesn't sound like it's about the government, but it is about the government.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like every song that the Hotelier has ever done is so good. I'm extremely biased here because they're one of my favorite bands of all time. But like the way that Christian's able to like weave in these like crazy stories, like the motherfucker writes a lyric. He writes a lot of lyrics. There's so many words.
Yeah.
I think it's really good, and they're like the only kind of few, it's like the only political emo record. Like I'm looking
Yeah.
through this list, and it is definitely the only one that actually has
Multiple songs that are political.
I would even say that even the songs that are personal, they
Are
somehow
political.
tie a political thing into it. Like fucking the banger of the album. I can't remember the one about the suicide.
Your Deep Rest.
Yeah, Your Deep
Yeah.
Rest. It like that's just a song of that, and then like they throw in like the last part where it's just like talking about how like depression can be caused by like an environment that is caused by like being in a lower class, and then like the
Yeah.
struggle that is coming up within that. And I'm like, damn, dude, like you just didn't have to just throw that in, but it did,
Yeah.
and it makes it like that much better.
And I've met Christian, and they're the nicest person I've ever met.
Yeah, I met I saw them in 2017 or 2018, and I met Christian, and that was it's just such a funny person and just great. What a great band live.
You know that mom jeans aren't that nice.
Those they look like nice guys. They
do,
literally
they do.
seem like just nice people.
They seem fun. They seem fine.
And they seem like they have fun. But like in like Hotelier is a very like it's actually heavy.
Yeah, like
music.
they're serious, but like it's not annoying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The run, I love like if any album can get like 3 or 4 songs in a row that just bang bang bang, and this album definitely does that. Like In Framing, into Your Deep Rest, into Among the Wildflowers is like
So good.
awesome. Like 10 minutes of music. It's so good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then into Life in Drag, and then into Housebroken. Look, as I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, the whole thing. It's the whole thing.
The whole thing is really good.
Dude, shout out. All right, yeah, who might win this whole section? Anyways, Hotelier. Last
Tom Brady versus a toddler.
last one up. We got Glockamora, Just Married, versus Cap'n Jazz. Not gonna say the whole goddamn album name. It's the one with the red wagon on it. It's too long of a name.
Burritos.
Burritos and
What's your relationship with? I feel like you would like Cap'n Jazz, Joey. Like I feel like
Oh, I like Captain Jazz. but I
Chi-Town.
also like going over this list. I was like, Glockamora has like a serious edge over like a decent amount of
Yeah.
these groups. Like that just like instantly makes me think about skateboarding in the summer.
so Cap'n Jazz, I listened to these records right after each other, literally like right
Same.
before we started recording. And I like Glockamora couldn't exist without Cap'n Jazz. Like it's like almost the same sound going on at the same time.
Yeah.
And I had another thing about the Brave Little Abacus that was like Brave Little Abacus kind of sounds like you have Cap'n Jazz is intentionally supposed to be childish, like they're like supposed to be, but it doesn't sound that childish. They're just throwing in little like nursery rhyme type shit going around here and there. And then Brave Little Abacus actually like is like full blown sounds like childhood brain. And then Glockamora though takes that like childishness, but then kind of like makes it into
gets it drunk.
Yeah, that's like like partying essentially. And then
Yeah.
and it's so much fun to listen to. Like
It's like Glockamora kind of sounds like if a Captain Jazz song drank exactly 2 beers.
yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. And it's so much fun. Every time I listen to it, like especially the opening of
So
the record,
Y'all's
is
boots hats.
y'all, yeah, Die Angry, dude. That album it starts off so good and so fun, and like you're ready to rock when you hear that shit.
A future tattoo of mine is probably Die Angry somewhere on me. It's such a good phrase, such a good line. I live by it. And that album cover of Just Married is so good.
It makes me wish I ever went to like a party in my life, you know? Like I wish I wish I was there. Like they look like they're having so much fun.
Oh
Yeah. Kind of like it gives off that same kind of like Joyce Manor vibe where you're like, what's
the
the
Never
one
Hungover
where
Again.
Yeah, like you see that and you're like, oh man, I want to have a good time.
Yeah, this like every time I see that, I want to have a good time. And like they actually write like heavy lyrical content. Like it's not
Yeah,
they have songs about like
this is a horribly
breakups.
depressing record. Like
It is like I always forget that, and then sometimes I actually like go and like really like read the lyrics, and I'm like, oh shit! Like they're like they have this sound of like partying, and then they do that themselves too. Like they're throwing that in. Like look at the album cover, the samples they use, the like random moments of like yeah stuff like that. But then like then you read the lyrics, and it actually has like it's like, not songs about partying.
Well, like I'm pretty sure it's like a divorce record, and like the last song, Me and Janine, like ending with that voicemail and stuff is like the whole record itself is just like so
it's
sad.
A lot like a Kendrick Lamar.
Did you say the voicemail was sad?
Well, the voicemail is very funny, but I meant to say the voicemail is like very quintessentially emo, when they like think that they are like ODing on weed, and they like call the cops.
Yeah,
and they're like, I think I'm dying. Somebody help me.
Whoa! I just like
What?
got that it was like a song about like breakup or like a divorce, and then but then there's a like this sample they're using is about like two people like doing drugs together and getting in trouble, and that's like
it's heavy.
That's kind of sweet and cute and heavy and sad.
Yeah. But Cap and Jazz though is really good.
Here's the okay.
Here's the thing.
I know we're not. We're not quite at the vote yet, but I'm gonna say Glockamora just because.
Ooh.
Captain J, like Mike Kinsella and his brother have so much like just heaps of credit and status. Like
they don't need the is it punk rub? Is what you're saying?
they don't need the is it punk rub.
I mean, neither does Glockamora, but
yeah,
yeah, honestly, like. Glockamora is like one of those, not Glockamora, Cap and Jazz is one of those bands that is extremely influential, but I think that their descendants are better than them themselves, which is like kind of cheating, but like it happens with like even like I don't know, even like Rites of Spring or something like that, you know, like sometimes the descendants can kind of hit a little bit harder than the original. And I think that
there's like a lot of like Hum is responsible for so many like heavy bands, but like someone who likes Deftones and loves like that post new metal sound is probably not going to be into like that shoegazy thing.
Yeah. And I think that this is one of those situations, especially so directly being Glockamora and Cap and Jazz, that we actually have a direct descendant in sound. And but I would put on Glockamora way more than I put on Cap and Jazz. Although I did listen to that Cap and Jazz record and was like, I forgot that this is actually really good. It's like also the moment I had with it too.
When I was driving to get my tattoo yesterday, I put on the Cap and Jazz record first, and then when it ended, I put on Just Married. So like I listened to it in sequence, and I had this exact same thought where it's like, oh, these are like, this is its grandson. And I thought both of you were going to pick Cap and Jazz, and I was going to argue, would be like, well, Glockamora, but it looks like we're all picking Glockamora.
Yeah.
Wow, this is crazy. Also, I didn't get into Glockamora until late, like well after they had broken up, like maybe like 2017 or something like that. I listened to them for the first time, and I was like, I fucked
listen
up.
to them until 2020.
I got into them because I was trying to listen to something else that was snowing but didn't sound like snowing. That's like how much I needed, and they had a song that was like referencing a snowing song, so I thought it would be the same. And they kind of do have the same kind of vibe of being a sad record but party vibes.
Yeah.
And damn, I don't know where I was going with that, but I was just saying that's mostly me saying like, oh, snowing's really good.
Dude, well, hey, maybe they'll meet. Maybe they'll meet
later.
later.
Snowing beat that out. Now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm really glad I didn't like push out and say Oscar, because I could have.
All right, so let's run down this top that we got here that we've ended with today. So in the next round, we have nice. Clarity by Jimmy World versus Nothing Feels Good by The Promise Ring.
Damn, what a meetup.
Then we have
that's brutal.
That's gonna be tough.
I don't want to be there for that.
Oh, dude, Ian and I are gonna wrestle about that one. Then we have Floral Green by Title Fight versus 10 Songs by I Hate Myself. You know, wow. All right. think we know what's going to happen.
I think we know what's going to happen too.
Then we have I Could Do Whatever I Wanted If I Wanted by Snowing versus 4 Minute Mile by the Get Up Kids.
Personal hard one.
Yeah. It's tough.
That's a good matchup.
It's a good matchup.
Yeah.
It's an interesting matchup too. We got cross-generational matchup
Twinkles.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Home Like No Place Is There by the Hotelier versus Just Married by Glockamora, which is
Same era competition.
Same
the kings of the same era going against each other.
Yeah.
It's a good one. This will be riveting.
The non-binary kings.
The non-binary kings.
The monarchs going against each other.
Yeah. Damn. Well, Joey, thank you for coming on. Thanks.
Of course.
Thanks for helping out with this, important decision that has to be made, because not enough people have talked about it.
No, not enough people are talking about it.
There's not a whole podcast already that in existence that is basically.
The people are clamoring for more emo podcasts.
Listen, I want to start a beef with the E word right now. They don't put out enough episodes, so we had to start our own podcast and talk about emo.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
loser, idiot, fucker.
Fuck that podcast.
Yeah,
We're the ones doing it now.
yeah.
I'm coming for you, our emo. I'm posting this.
It's a known strategy that if you're not that popular, if you just get angrier and angrier,
Yes.
more people check you out.
Hell yeah, just be mean.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm going for. I'm going to get canceled for my girlfriend hardcore remark.
I mean,
But
hey,
It's going to get us some listens, maybe.
Local podcaster hates women.
but is he wrong though? Is he wrong about mom jeans? I don't know. But Joey, do you have anything to plug, anything to say before we end today?
Well, I'm in a band called Kirby Grip. We're playing a show at Cole's on Thursday, February 3rd in Chicago.
Let's
We have a
go.
record that just came out
We
within a
have a
few
record that
months.
came out in November called Portrait of Bliss.
Yeah, download and listen to it on Tidal.
Or not Spotify because they hate Neil Young and
Yeah.
Joni Mitchell. So Apple Music.
Yeah, get on Apple Music. I feel weird about us using Spotify a lot now because of everything, but we're not going to get into that now. We'll talk
We're not
about
gonna
that
get into
later.
And we have other shows coming up. I texted Ryan in the middle of this to get the dates. We're playing February 20th at Sleeping Village, also in Chicago, and at the Golden Dagger on March 30th.
Great name for a venue, Golden Dagger.
You don't forget it.
Damn. Well, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Go fuck yourself.